Hello, Todd Bog here with Breaking the Stream, and welcome to a new Let's Play of Conquest of Elysium 5. For those of you that have been around for a bit, you may have seen me just finish up my playthrough of the Baron, which was a fun romp, although not super exciting with unit selection and everything like that. Although we did explore some of the new unit benefits you get, especially with the alchemists and stuff. We also got ourselves crowned king, although it was very late in the actual series. But if you're interested in checking that out, definitely give that a whirl. Playlist is up and completed, so you can definitely watch that. That said, we're going to start a new game here. And as usual, our games are going to be played to completion and beginner friendly. So if you're looking to learn, we're going to be taking on the Druid class today. And you'll be able to learn about the Druid class, and learn some of the new things as well that are changed from Conquest of Elysium 4 to 5. So definitely stick around if you're interested. And it will be played to completion whether I win or lose. So we'll see what that looks like too. So let's go ahead and start a new game. Always play on large maps. Now, something I do want to mention, because it is coming up more often, is a lot of people like to play on huge or enormous maps, which is understandable. I choose large specifically because it's good for the channel. We get the games done in a reasonable amount of time, but still get to explore some of the late game stuff. However, the larger the map you choose, the higher the chances you're going to get an infernal invasion, simply because it relies on a mad cultist being being alive for long enough to open that portal. And the larger the map, the less chance you'll have of running into him and killing him. So just something to keep in mind for those of you who are having trouble with that event. Playing smaller maps might be the way to go until somebody has a mod that may be able to turn off that particular event to make sure it doesn't come up. That said, we do Random Society. The one I'd prefer is probably Dark Ages of all of them, only because in the Dark Ages you get more ancient forests, and there's just more forests in general. That'll be useful for a druid, but I always leave it on random so that we can show that we can win in other eras. It's just different. And then we always want to turn on battle reports, so always leave that on. It's going to be extremely useful, and we'll see why if you haven't seen it before. So I always play with 6 AI players. If you hit the plus button, you can actually change all the difficulties. And I play on the count difficulty, which gives them a roughly double, probably a little more than double of what I get and things like that. So we are playing the Druid. So we're priests of nature. We consider ourselves saviors of Elysium. Basically, we use animals and herbs, and we do mystic rituals to summon some great things. So the Druid is very much like you would expect from all the other games that have Druids. However, we do get to use communion in the ancient forest using bunches of herbs to summon gods, in this case, from the primal plane. So that's something that's new to this Conquest of Elysium 5 versus 4. And then we do have a lot of beasts that are lacking in ranged attacks and siege ability, so that is a weak point of this. But we collect herbs from forests and jungles. We use them to perform rituals, and all animals under his control are stealthy in forests. So that's definitely useful. And then we always do unique random players so that we can see a bunch of different classes and see how they interact. And hopefully we'll get some of the Easter egg classes. So, all right, that said, we're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and bring old Todd Bog in. All right. So this is our start here. So what we have is probably the worst of the starting sites, simply because we do not have walls. And our troops aren't as good as some of the others. The barbarians don't get walls, for instance, but they have some pretty strong defensive troops. These guys are decent enough to keep animals away, but you'll see more about that. So anyways, so starting out, as you can see, we're getting 2 gold because our base also does not produce gold, although it does produce herbs, so that does help. And then we got ourselves, and we have Cassia Velenus. We'll call it Cassie. So essentially, since this is going to be played on a daily basis, and I record my videos each day, feel free to leave a comment if you'd like to end up in the game here, and I can make you one of my druids or one of my other leaders as well. So in this case, let's look at myself. So we've got 4 stealth. Animals under me are 4 stealth, and I'm 4 stealth myself. ritual caster, and we'll look at that in just a sec. We have our Druidism spells. So I cast Poison Arrow, which is a fun one, single target. Hits them like an arrow and then does poison damage on top. Poison Vine will entangle them, which will slow them or stop them, and then does 1 to 5 damage, armor negating poison. Domestication is great. It's an animal charm spell, so we can utilize that. 3 strikes, so we can charm some of the enemies that are roaming the world right now. And we have the Curse of Wood, which transforms enemies into trees, and so that will keep them from being able to attack. Our apprentice, Cassie, can befriend animals, so that's a single target charm, and has Poison Arrow. So we've got the ability to charm some of these animals that we'll eventually see. Now, rituals are here. So the first 3 are just ways to learn more rituals, whether it be different versions, or in this case for him, since he's already a level 2 ritual caster, this will make him level 3 and give him more spells and stuff. So right now we got Plant Forest Guardians, which basically creates things like you see in our home, the plants and stuff that will guard. They're usually immobile, or mushrooms, things like that. So it could be useful for certain things. And then we got Wild Hunt. The hunt moves in ancient forests and claims them for the wild. If there's no more unclaimed ancient forests in Elysium, the hunt will advance on the bastions of civilization instead. So that's an interesting one. We'll see what that looks like. And then Cassie has messenger crows, so that'll be useful. It allows us to scout and everything. So, and then army-wise, we start with a few things. We got bare-chested warriors. They just have, these are your basic trooper. They have javelins and spears. So the javelin's a 1 use per battle at a range of 3. You just throw it before you go in with your spear. No armor. Armor is important for a lot of armies because it reduces damage you take. So if you have an armor of 1, you're taking 1 less damage for every roll. And as you can see, the spear only does 1 to 4. So at this point, it does 0 to 3 damage against somebody with 1 armor. We do have a shield, though, which blocks appointed damage half the time, I believe. So we block 0 to 1 damage or 0 to 2 against ranged weapons. So we do have some protection, but generally speaking, we're going to die in droves to any standard unit. Now, bare-chested scout is nice to start with because it can see stealthy units. So otherwise, not a very good fighter. And then our basic ranged troop is the bare-chested slinger. They have the worst ranged weapon. Does 1 to 2 damage at a range of 4. Bow does a range of 5, 1 to 3, and then you have a longbow, which only the Baron has, 1 to 4 at a range of 6, and then the crossbow, which is range 5 but 1 to 5. So that one only fires every other round. So bottom tier range is all you need to know. So we can recruit, which will recruit at the hut. So you can either do that by hitting the R key or long right click, and that'll get you at this. Using the long right click, you should get used to that because that'll allow you to recruit at the exact site you want, because this can get crowded with a bunch of different things. So we cover warriors and slingers. Swordsmen are basically removing their javelin. They do a bit more damage, otherwise they're the same as the warriors. And then we've got the beast Calvary. They have double the hit points. They have the javelin and broadsword, so they do decent damage. They have that 1 armor, and they have a shield. However, you only get 3 per recruit, and that does require iron. And finally, the hornblower is unique. It's one of the only regular troop recruits you can get that causes fear. So this one will basically blow his horn. You roll that die, and if it equals or exceeds their morale, they'll run and will no longer fight in that battle. So they also provide leadership. So very cool stuff. But in this case, we're going to transfer everybody up here. Hit the question mark if you're curious about all the keys I'm using to select everybody. You can do it with the mouse as well. If you want to double click, you can select all the same type, that kind of thing. But definitely get used to manipulating that. So at this point, we've got 8 dwarves here. That's going to do some damage. But that coal mine would be nice to have. Dwarves have 2 armor, and these guys do 1 to 8 damage with their attacks. So they're going to take very little damage. This one has 2 armor and a shield, but he only does 1 to 7. And then these guys do 1 to 10 in range, 7, which is great, but it only fires every 3 rounds. So not as bad, but they do have the armor. Interesting. So That might be where we have to go, but we'll go and explore using our action points. So we have 3 action points. Every terrain, if you hit I, will show you I on your keyboard when you're hovering over a terrain will show you what it does and the movement costs and everything. So you can use that to figure out what you're getting. But you want to use your scouting as best possible, but we're going to try and take that, and hopefully we'll take that out. This we don't want to deal with right now because it will steal our people. Because it does confusion, which can result in our people joining them, and then it just straight up enslaves. It's ethereal, and yeah, it's going to be something that will destroy us if we're not careful, so we're going to have to plan for that. Iron Mine with green oozes. These are cool. They have a lot of hit points, and then when they die, they'll actually split. Split if it's hit by a heart attack that doesn't kill it at once. Indicates the percentage of the hit points that must be lost in a single attack for split to take place. So it can split into multiple monsters. So kind of neat. All right, I've done everything. The one thing I will do is set my trade to buy iron. We don't have any right now, but if I get it, I won't forget it. And we'll go ahead and end our turn. So, all right, battle in the coal mine. So when you have battle reports on, instead of watching each battle, you'll get this report. You can hit stats. So I lost 4 warriors, and they lost everything. We're going to view it, though, so you can see it. So it basically goes turn by turn. You see the 15 rounds there. Those are used during siege. We'll look at it more when we have siege. But at this point, we're going in initiative order. They just deleted 2 of my warriors that way. Javelins did absolutely nothing. But, hey, they're trees. So, all right, so we managed to take the coal mine, which is good. Sea dogs. Fast and amphibious, huh? Alright, well, we got to take them out before they take out my stuff, so we'll do that. Hopefully they're animals. We also see bandits, and they outnumber us. That's not good at all. Alright, so we're going to hit stats. So we managed to kill the sea dogs without losing anybody, so that's good. Silly bandits. Alright. And now we got snow. Snow adds an extra movement cost. So everything that took 1 movement will now take 2 and so forth. So definitely can be a problem. You got to be careful of. And now you see we tagged this forest, which gives us 1 herb income. So now we're making 5 instead of 4. So. And weather does affect your incomes, so your herbs will go down during any other month other than, I think it's summer that you get the most herbs. But all right, what do we got here? So we got a couple things that we got to be careful of. This one right here is a shaman. Edge magic level 1 doesn't usually scare me, but can do some damage. But they're sitting on a nice coastal hamlet, so we're going to go ahead and take them. We should be able to defeat them fairly easily. Alright, so we'll go ahead and view this battle. Our slings will do some damage. So he's got magic stones, so that's 1 to 6 damage, and he killed 2 guys just now. And then curse. That's not a great one. I hate curse. But, luckily we're good there. So we did end up losing 2. Just making sure none of my leaders got cursed. No, okay. But we're already weakened, so this is always a tough thing. Basically, we're trying to find our friends, the forests, and we don't have any near us, which is not a great start. 4 Boer Warriors. So you get special recruits. So the Boer Warriors are fantastic. They have 1 armor, 12 hit points. They do berserk, which means that they'll, as soon as they take damage, they get stronger and fight until negative hit points. They do 1 to 10 damage, and they have a shield as well. So just high quality troop. Vergobred is just a special leader. He doesn't do anything except act as a leader, and an inexpensive leader at that. So in this case, though, I can't afford either one of them. So we're kind of stuck, but we're going to keep looking for places to take. So 2 spearmen we can easily take. And it looks like we're on a little peninsula, so we'll be able to take control of our local area. But yeah, we killed the 2 spearmen, no need to watch that. We're a few turns away from being able to recruit our next thing, but at least we have some forest, so we can use that to power up a little here. So each of these forests, though, are taking 3 movement points, so we're always going to... Oh, and if you don't have enough movement points, you will be taking away from future movement points. So as you can see, we've already have 1 used, because it took 3 to move while it was in the snow, and I already had 2, only had 2 left. Alright, you guys are just taking my stuff, huh? Alright, let's go ahead and use your special power to do messenger crows. So these guys will go out and scout for us. We don't have control over them. You can barely see them in the forest there, the sprite, but essentially they're what we call a stupid unit. Cannot be controlled, will move on their own, but they'll go out and do some scouting for us, and they're stealthy, so they're hard to find. So, alright. So we got a coastal hamlet, which is good. We can take that from them, and then, oh, yeah, oh wait, you're going to use your special power. So forest guardians aren't going to really help us, so let's go ahead and do a lesser, and that's what I wanted, minor animal summoning. So I'll be able to get some basic animals to improve my army here. I can do a recruit at home, so let's go ahead and... do I go with some warriors, or do I wait? I'm going to see if we can get Boer Warriors, because we'll have enough iron next round. Vertebrate, okay. Alright, so I told you about Mad Cultists. This is the Mad Cultists. So, yeah. We have to kill these guys before they open up a portal to hell. I think we have the army to do it, although they may have hidden troops. Oh no, I have a scout, so they do not have hidden troops. That's the only reason you can see them, because otherwise they're stealthy. So you wouldn't know, you would just see these two and go, okay, that's all we have to defeat. But the problem we have with them is that they cast some pretty nasty spells. But yeah, we're just going to have to go into them. We're definitely going to have to do a recruit here. We're going to do slingers. Only reason is these bandits might come in and attack, and we'll need the slingers to defend, because they all have range. Okay. Battle in Coastal Hamlet, so let's just view this. So they have Summon Imp and Pain. Pain does 1 to 10 damage. Magic, armor negating. So even if I had armor, it just ignores it. Strength and Spontaneous Combustion, that causes burning, so that's just not good either. So hopefully we'll turn them into trees. We turned 1 into tree. So that's good. And we managed to turn the other into tree. So perfect. So we managed to win. So no, we don't have to worry about hell coming to earth. That's nice. What we now have to do is figure out the best way to get back home, because they just moved to the right spot for them. So we're going to go here. We'll probably jump into this forest and do summons for ourselves. Alright, Boer Warriors, good. That's what I wanted, but I don't have the gold. Bare-chested Scout's useful, but, okay. So, let's go ahead and just do our minor animal summoning. That's so terrible. That's better. Okay. So I'll show you what I got. So the first thing I got was a Rabbit Familiar, which just does nothing. But we did get Fire Ants, which don't look like much. They have 2 damage, or 2 hit points, but they also have 2 armor. And they do an acid damage attack at a beam of 2. And acid's always armor negating and counts as magic. They're also tiny, so half the time the enemy won't hit them. Yeah, they climb walls as well. So those should be sufficient to take out our bandit friends. I hope so. Alright. Alright, I was attacked in the farm, so the bandits did attack me, so we're just going to view this. So what makes these guys nasty? They all have bows. These guys all have slings, so they're just a bunch of range attackers. So I hope I turn a bunch of them into trees. Or no, we're just going to poison a bunch, so... Yeah, so The ants were nice because, as you can see, they killed 2 of my warriors and 1 of the ants. But those ants with 2 armor means the slingers are going to have a hard time trying to break through their armor. So not bad. Not the worst thing in the world, not the best thing. We definitely need more troops, though. So we're going to transfer to here. We'll grab these guys. And next round, we should have enough to recruit another frontline group. Which would love to be the Boer, but we don't have the luxury there. So the swordsmen do more damage, 1 to 7 versus 1 to 4. But right now, the things that we're going to fight aren't going to have the higher armor, so we're going to go ahead and do that. You guys are pierce and blunt resistant, though, so... Okay, so we're not going to take you out. We'll need swordsmen to do that because they use slash, which is nice. But all right, we'll just keep working our way out. Okay. So go ahead and use minor animal summoning a couple times. Now that's a really good one. I love those. And then we got a bunch of rabbits. So the rabbits don't seem like much, but again, they're tiny, so... they're only 1 hit point. They don't even do any damage. So what they are is targets. So the enemy will attack them. Now this, on the other hand, is 21 hit points, 2 armor. So that already is amazing because that's 4 times the hit points of my regular guys with the 2 armor on top of that. They do an acid spray for 1 to 4 armor negating damage and a beam. And they have a bite that does 1 to 6. So just a really good troop overall. If you run into ants, be careful of them. So, and I think that's all she wrote for that. All right. So basically, right now we're just. I should have gone here. We're just working our way through to scout and find more things. We got control of our local area, with the exception of these 2, which will take some time to knock out. Do you offer anything? So fairy circles are interesting. I don't know if it tells you here. Basically, 1 month each year, if you're on a fairy circle, you'll then get booted to a random ancient forest, which can be very useful, also can be very weird. You just don't know what you're going to get. All right, Taskmaster. This guy's got a decent set of hit points, armor, does 2 sets of damage. Otherwise, he's got a dark blessing, so his morale's improved. So he's a decent fighter, but he can't stand up to a bunch of attacks. These guys only have 3 hit points, no armor, but they do 1 to 6 damage, which is good. But yeah, that's a nice, easy coal mine we can take, and then this is a pretty easy take as well for us. So awesome. All right, so probably take the coal mine first because it's worth more right now. And so we can just hit stats. As you can see, we murdered them all. The Taskmaster, I'm sure we blew away with all our slings. So Boer Warriors, I have the gold and the iron, so I definitely want them. So we'll grab them here. And those guys will be extremely useful for taking out these oozes later. But all right. Again, use your movement points if you can. We can overrun here because we're stronger. We have a good size force, and they were fairly weak, so that's a good thing. And we'll take the forest with our last move. All right, we got a silver mine. That's way too many dwarves for us to deal with now, but that will be a nice boost. As you can see, 5 gold income. And the nice thing about these things is they're not affected by snow. So if you have snow in your square, it'll normally reduce your gold income and your other incomes as well, so something to keep in mind, but we're good there. Beast Knight, that is a new thing. All right, Beast Knight is just a mounted leader. Okay, doesn't do anything else differently, huh? That's cool. That is a new recruit, though, that we didn't have before. So all right, we're gonna come over here. And we revealed a bunch of stuff. So 19 dwarves defending a gold stream. So that's a nice 4 gold. We got a coal mine with some pale ones. These guys are cool. They're underground dwellers, evolved from worms. They've got 1 armor, 11 hit points, so decent. But what hurts them is the bad sight. So 1 in 5 attacks misses. They only do 1 to 4 damage with those guys, and then these guys throw rocks and do 1 to 5 damage there. Interesting. Yeah, they're all doing 1 to 5, it looks like. Okay. So, but he doesn't have the armor that the others have, so this should be a pretty easy fight for us. This is 9 dwarves, so we saw what happened last time with that. We should be better off now. And then bear-deer combo. So just a bunch of animals, but we'll get to them. We can even do some animal summoning. Chieftain and Druid's Apprentice. I don't have gold for that, so... Alright, let us go ahead and use our special powers. There we go, Moose. So Moose are hit points. That's pretty much what they are, 32 hit points. But they also have this trample ability. So anything smaller will get hit for 2 damage, because that's our trample value. We'll get hit for the 2 damage, and we'll take that damage as they move around, and then they do their attacks. So it'll push through enemy lines, get to archers quicker, things like that. So we're going to start with our easier fight, though. Do that. As you can see, we're getting quite an interesting force, right? So generally speaking, you're going to probably favor ranged eventually, because your animals will take your front line. So we hit stats. So again, we killed them all without really doing anything, but let's see what the moose does so you can see. They got turned into trees, and I guess trees I can't knock around as much, but as you can see, moose trample, 2 extra damage for being incapacitated, so it just did a bunch of damage to them for being a tree as well. So alright, so we took that. Let's see, the question is, do I just crash in? And I think the answer is yes, but we're going to do a little... Ooh, that is Tainted Souls. I've never seen these before. So they life drain. That's pretty bad. When you life drain, you can go up to, I think, double your life. So they can be up to 6 hit points. Every time they attack, they will gain hit points back. They're ethereal, so that means we miss 75% of the time when we try to attack them. Otherwise, they're just an interesting thing I haven't seen before. A glowing sphere of light floating and dancing in the evening light. It seems to be drawn to men, particularly men of intellectual stature. According to old stories, the glowing sphere is the soul of a living being trapped and tainted by the Orchard of Souls, a horror that will eventually taint the entire world. Children refusing to eat their apples are often told to eat up, lest their souls will merge with the rotten apple and become the fruit for the horrors to eat. Interesting. I wonder if they summon an apocalyptic event. Either way, I came over there because they gave me scouting. These guys can now get back together, and we can just murder these dwarves and get another coal mine. So we're getting a decent source of iron, which is nice. So we can get all those Boer Warriors. Still haven't found a citadel, though. So, alright, so we killed them all. We didn't lose anything. I'll let you view it. So you can see the Arbalest shot out, but at this point now they can't shoot anymore. Oh, now they can, I guess, but yeah, there we go. So we managed to do pretty good. Our moose is definitely taking some damage. They're a big target. 19 is still a bit much for us to do. What we want to do is probably take out this bear-deer combo here. And it looks like there might be an ancient forest somewhere up here, just because the deer are coming down from somewhere. We also have this to deal with, but that we'll have to deal with eventually. Let's go ahead and use our special power for minor animal summoning. Alright. That is actually not a bad thing. Only because they have acute senses. I thought they were familiars, though. That's just crows. Okay. Well, that's super useful. What do you have for special powers? Messenger Crow? Yeah, let's do that. We need more scouting over here. I think we're going to have to go back and take care of some of the stuff that is spawning back here. So we'll kill them, and come back and kill them. And that way they don't take my stuff and I can leave it. Alright. So, Druid's Apprentice, battle in the forest. So we lost our crows, and I'll show you why. So one of the things the crows have is flying. So flying means you move faster. So as you can see when we go, the moose moves up an extra space. The others do too here. But that means they get into combat a little quicker. And that means that they're going to get killed. It looks like actually getting murdered by my ants instead because we managed to convert everybody into trees. So that's good. So, all right. So the deer have taken my thing, so we'll go ahead and do that. That was that silver mine. Yeah, silver mines are usually worth more than gold streams in this game. Kind of interesting compared to our current valuations that we have. Let's see, probably get that Druid Apprentice. Having another caster is always useful. Use your special power. So you get minor animal summoning, that's even better. And then you've got bark skin, so you can make us and befriend animal. Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping we'll befriend some of these animals. That'd be nice. We didn't befriend anything because they've turned into trees, huh? All right, let's do some minor animal summonings here. All right. Okay, that's another good one. So a bunch of trashed here, but not bad overall. So this right here is a giant mantis, has 17 hit points, only 1 armor. So not as good as an ant, but it does attack twice, which is useful. And it attacks first, usually. So that's not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, battle in the forest. We killed the 4 deer. We do have a scout available for recruit, but we don't have the gold for him. Alright. As you can see, our best friends in the world here, the King's Troop, are taking our coastal hamlet now. That is a weird army to tackle things with. I will wait another turn. Attacked in a plane, so the Tainted Souls killed my messenger crows. So you can see now they're up to 5 out of 3 hit points. It's temporary, so they won't keep it, but in a battle they can get stronger that way. So, all right, so we just have to go this way. These messenger crows are just hanging out. So those did move, so they weren't hanging out on the village. So that's good to know. And those are piercing, so... And the rest of you guys don't really... You do bite for poison. That might be neat, but... I was looking to see if we can just take this iron mine, but we're just going to have to wait on that. Okay, good. So we'll go ahead and crash in with the army. And now we got a much stronger force with the 3 mages now. And should be able to wipe them out without any losses. Nice and easy. So, turning things into trees is nice. Doesn't tell you that it's a tree when you right-click on them. But basically they become immobile. And when immobile, any damage you do to an immobile troop, you add 2 to it. So, really helps overcome armor or, just do more damage in general. So, Coastal Hamlet was done. We have Boer Warriors, of course, right when we leave. But we'll go ahead and get those guys eventually. All right. So, we'll get everybody under my lord. And we'll go ahead and call it here. So this is our first video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it means a lot. The Druid playthrough should be a lot of fun. Our exploration should hopefully show off some of the great summons that you get as a Druid, assuming I can find some ancient forests to make that happen. We got lucky with our peninsula start, so we don't have to worry about much in the way of losing what we have control over here, with the exception of maybe some random sea creatures that come across, like, no, those are fully aquatic, so that's good for us. We just got to find that ancient forest, so that and then hopefully get some more recruit spots, just so that we don't lose, because losing the game can happen if you lose all your leaders, or if you lose all of your citadels, which are marked with this crown. So we're still in a tough spot if somebody manages to sneak in, but chances are we're not going to have to worry about that. So with that, as always, if you can, like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot, and I will catch you guys next time.